I was incarcerated for nearly 17 years. I was locked up when I was 18. I have been home almost 6 years now. I work as a tattoo artist. I love so much about this program. Trauma is it's just so interesting to me, and especially being in the Chillon Project and working towards my bachelor's, which I'll get this year. And learning so much about psychology and everything, and just really understanding that you're where you're supposed to be because of what you've went through. We've all went through just horrible things, and you can't judge people by their actions and things like that. It's changed my heart a lot as far as dealing with people and things like that.
I work for a nonprofit organization called Advocates of the South. I'm the director of communications and marketing, and it's a blessing, to be honest with you, because coming out, I've been home a little over 2 years, finding employment and things of that nature. It was really rough. I found myself in a place to where okay, I have this degree, but where is the work? So I basically had to create an opportunity for myself, and connections and resources and things of that nature. My experience being incarcerated and with Life University is that I was able to realize the systems that were imposed upon me that landed me in that situation.
Life University changed my life. It offered me so much information that wasn't allotted to me prior to college, to school. And I want to talk about structural violence. You hear about things until you're studying it, and then you realize the people or the subjects are me. This is about me being a black female in a society that highly sexualized who I am as a person. I never gave consent for that. I never said that, but that's what's thought of me, and that's how people would treat me. And if I spoke up for myself, then it would be received as me being violent. And I really just want to get my point across.
To look at what education in prison meant was life-changing, and we think they're getting the algebra, and they're getting the writing abilities, and they're getting this, that, and the other. And while the education means everything, there was also a latent side of that was not known, and it came in the form of connection. Because when you're in prison, you're very isolated. It's like Groundhog Day, over and over and over. The outfits are the same, the meals are the same, the people are the same, the officers are the same, everything's the same all the time. And you're referred to by a last name only. You never are referred to by your first name again. So that is a no-go. And then when you go a little bit further, there's never a connection. You can't actually physically touch somebody beside you. You have to be careful what kind of conversations you have and what goes on, because there's that constant pressure of just being watched and scrutinized and really looked down upon. And so when Life University came in, they offered something very different. They offered a connection point that was different than anything I had seen. It was something that was above and beyond just teaching us algebra or peace studies, or we took something called spiritual autobiography, which was fantastic. It was a kind of a reframing of your story. So there was all these things that we were collectively receiving, but beyond that, we met a group of teachers that actually cared.
I'm thankful for the president. I'm thankful for Dr. Fabersack, Dr. Flores, all of the staff, because they added so much value to me. Life University inside of the prison was like a form of structural peace. They came in their values, they represented inclusion, dignity, access to opportunities, and most important, they believed in us. They helped a lot of us who was in that institution feeling like for me, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I just couldn't excel no more. But when they came, and those teachers were so genuine and so compassionate, and they looked at us like human beings, it did something to me. My self-esteem started to grow. I started elevating. I believed in myself, and lo and behold, I graduated as salutatorian, like I just said, and I'm in a master's in positive psychology right now.
I remembered holding my breath during shakedowns. I remembered being treated in a negative manner because I was in Life University. I remember being told, you're not special. You think because you go to school, I'll lock you down. I'll take this from you, right? while education is definitely a personal privilege, it was a threat to the system. They didn't want us to learn that there was a system and that the system had names. You ever been in a relationship and like that person is your everything? Like life became my everything. If I needed somewhere to serve in community, I knew where I could go. If I needed extra money, I could go and say, hey, how do I get in work study? If I needed some counseling, Peggy Samples or whoever, somebody was talking to me on the phone. If I needed somebody to just listen, I could call Dr. Fabersack.
I heard a spoken word once where the two women, talented women, on stage lyrically illustrated the school to prison pipeline. As I stood online for inspection, their words echoed in my thoughts. If you can't get yourself ready in the classroom, how will you prepare for your jail cell? Standing online for inspection was another way to show yourself worthless to staff. In representation of the masses, in representation of the effects of white supremacy, we all know the racial imprint on this nation, but no one knows it better than a person incarcerated. Besides racial injustice building the walls of prison, you are made aware of your low-class status. I stood there stiff, hoping I would disappear into the pale gray as the inspection team walked through. They were going room to room inspecting, looking for food from the kitchen hidden behind books and in dirty laundry bags, clothes that were not the Department of Corrections uniform, extra anything, blankets, pillows, hair flat irons, fans, any other electronic device that did not have your name and GDC number engraved on it. They searched, and through the pictures of your children, parents, journals with your private thoughts in them, colorful scarves, clicky pens, and drawings, anything that held the semblance of normalcy, humanity, femininity, individuality, comfort, would be removed and thrown into a heaping pile of trash, food, crates, and tissue rolls that landed over the tier. There was no addressing the fact that the light in your room flickered nonstop or did not work at all, or that your toilet did not flush, that you had no hot water, cold water, or water at all. In the room sink, the showers filled with mold or spewed cold water or brown water or no water. There was no inspection of the leaking roof, the broken windows, doors, kiosk machines, phones, or empty female supply cabinet, the monstrous rats and rodents, the roaches, the grime, the filth, the fights, the sex, the shame, the darkness. The inspection team walked around the issues and concluded that you were the reason these issues came about, that you, inmates, were the reason that they must work. You who could not do anything in life but commit crimes are the reasons behind them needing to inspect. I was the reason that I stood there holding my breath while they trampled over our things. This is just an excerpt from how I felt at that time.
One of the things that I came home with from the education that I received on the inside is how to push back against structural violence. And that has been a major goal for me that I'm still pushing towards. With different things where, one, I started a nonprofit organization where I want to help individuals who are coming home to plan their re-entry, because everybody's story is different. Clearly you can see from us all, like, our re-entry was completely different. And I'm kind of like Karima. When I came home, I kind of had some stuff in place, but the only thing that was stable was Life University. Dr. Fabersack was like, the quarter just started, you can kind of drop until you get together. And I was like, if I do, I'll fall apart. So with that, I learned how to move forward and understand the violence that was happening in my life, even though it wasn't directly happening to me, but it was just the system that I was in.
As president, this is one of those times where I feel overwhelmed with pride for what this university does. So I appreciate you being here for that. Our values as a university are intended to solve the world's most farthest reaching problems. We're having a conversation about one of those problems right now.